Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced, and welcome to another video about using SQL with Dremio. And in this video, what I want to do is talk about the case statement. So just so you know, what I have done is I've added a new repository. So if you look in the video description, any code that I use in these videos, so that way you can find that SQL and use it yourself, is going to be in the video description. You'll find a link to the repository. It's going to have all the code snippets from the intro to SQL videos and from these using SQL with Dremio videos and any future videos that I create. You can find it all in one spot. And again, if you've enjoyed these videos, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter and on LinkedIn. But with no further ado, let's talk about case statements. So now here in Dremio, you have the SQL editor, but a really cool thing you can do is that if you have particular SQL that you run maybe on a frequent basis and don't want to have to retype it all the time, you can save it as a script. So you can see here I have several scripts that I've saved, that I curated, and then I've saved so that way I can use them anytime that I want. Okay, so for example, we're going to be using this case when statement. That's what we're going to be going over. Again, if I were to make changes to this and wanted to save it, I can just click up here and save the script as. And now as far as saving a view, we'll talk about that in a future video. But yeah, so that way you can have easily reusable scripts. And then you can share those scripts with other people. Okay, so let's talk about this query. Okay, in this query, we're going to create a table called destinations. So basically places you'd like to go. And again, the purpose of this feature, case when, is kind of like a switch statement in JavaScript or pattern matching in Python. The idea is you're saying, hey, there's a couple different possibilities, and I want you to return a certain value depending on the possibility. More similar to a switch statement. But here we're going to create the table. Here we're going to populate it. So here's going to be the name of the location and the category of attraction. So the idea here is that we're going to want to provide a different category depending on its original category. So here we run a query where you say, hey, we just want the name. And then we also want another category field, but this category field is the result of a case statement. So meaning what the value of this particular field is going to be, okay, is going to be based on the value of category. So we're not returning the value of category. So we're not returning restaurants, hotels, attraction, but it's going to take the value of category. And then when it's restaurants, we're going to return food. When it's hotels, then you're going to return travel, and so forth. And then basically the result will be known as category type. So if we were to run this query, actually let me put this in the context of my folder for today. Boop, December 12th, 23, good, and hit run. Let's run that query. Oh, that's just common. Usually if I run this again, that'll be fine. Yep, there we go. And good, all the queries ran. And I can see that first, we created a table. 2, I have inserted the rows, and query 3, I can see the sightseeing type. Okay, so notice that now it is saying what I expected, right? So attraction. So in this case, let's see here. Let's go back to the first one is attraction for Eiffel Tower, and in our case statement we said, hey, if it's an attraction, it should show sightseeing, and that's exactly what it says. So that's all the case statement for, but that can be really powerful for certain situations where you want to display other information when certain things are true. Okay, so for example, if we had a numerical field and we wanted to say, hey, if it's above this winner, they are an overperformer. If it's below this number, they're an underperformer. And to kind of give some sort of label like that. So it's a pretty powerful feature to share information in your SQL statements. And again, it's just one of the robust many tools you have in SQL to do a lot more with SQL than a lot of people realize. And with also Dremio, again, has several built-in functions, which we'll cover many of, as you'll see here, that can then be used to really just kind of do a lot more with SQL, making sort of work and curating of data a lot more easy for a lot more people, especially for analytics and creating the analytical data sets that you need. So that's a story on case when. I'll see you all in the next video.